Hi guys. Sorry, I'm थोड़ा nervous. Yeah, so I started Lokesh in 2008, and I'm alumni of Sir J.J. Institute of Applied Arts, and my specialization in college was typography. So some pictures of my studio. So my father was like an art teacher, and so I grew up seeing his work. So this is some of my dad's work I would like to show you. So he was very good with his hand, and so it was like some of his portrait works he had done. So he was like my inspiration sorts. So he passed away in 1989. So these are some of the essential packagings he have done. So this is done in I think 1980s. So like really beautiful handwork. Yeah. So coming back to the idea of muse. So I think I'm going to speak about what really inspires me, and also how I document my inspirations into my sketchbooks, and also how I use the experiments and like my musings into my personal commercial work. So for most of my projects, I think drawing is the base of my work. So I think I will flip you through my like some of my sketchbooks, which are like my inspiration points, and which also like I refer to them like before starting like any project or something like that. Yeah, so this was probably the first drawing I made when I was like 3 or. So I was never like an illustrator. I was basically more of a typographer, you know. So I started with objects, like drawing objects and exploring the world around me. So I'll just flip you through some of my sketchbooks, which has like a drawing of objects. My sketchbooks are mostly what I see around me and what inspires me the most. So I think little objects, I think I'm very fond of them, and how I see them in like a different sort of scenario. Some of these are pure compositions. Like some of them are mix of compositions and elements like overlapping each other. And also I like simplifying objects to a certain level. So it creates like a good impact. And also these sketchbooks keeps my mind fresh like while working on the commercial projects. So these are the drawings done in the house or like wherever I go. Some of them are travel sketches. And so I like the whole communication between the objects, like like how the objects are placed in the room, and I'm seeing it from like a certain angle. And also there is no like a method to drawing. So I sometimes explore while drawing. Just like this, like drawing has like evolved from getting like linear to solid patches to like a contour linear sort of a way. So these are some outdoor sketches I draw. So you'll find a lot of Indian elements into my work. So this particular series is from Harappa civilization toys, which I saw at museum. These are also very simple sketch pen drawings, which I really and also while drawing, I also sometimes try to explore the style, like So I come up with some styles and I discard it, or like that's my second home. So it's like almost like 100 kilometers from here. It's called Nagodni. Yeah, so some pictures from there. So it's a beautiful village. It has a village charm to it still. So I like to observe like lot of local things and lot of local typography. So you will see a lot of these inspirations embedded into my work. Or like this is the same drawing made in the. I also love to draw people. So like anatomy or like skewed anatomy of the so typography. Again, like the compositions of people and how like people interact with each other. And also, I think it gives me opportunity to deeper about my culture also. Like sometimes while drawing the typography or drawing and sketching, bunch of vegetables they like sell and like the layout of it. I think it's very interesting to see. Then sometimes I try to dismantle the illustration as I move forward. Yeah, and also like sometimes the shapes go abstract or and also like to eliminate some objects from what I am actually seeing. And also like it also adds kind of an abstractness to the work, which like becomes interesting. Landscapes like really simplified landscapes and some of the people I observe. Yeah, and also kind of like the synergy between many objects like overlapping to each other. Like some traditional landscape, but using like many different colors and textures and pens and whatever, some landscape, but in a very minimal way. Vegetables like this. And also basically all these local things like I like about which actually reflects in my work, like whenever I do personal or commercial. Yeah. So I'm also while drawing I am also experimenting with angles and shapes or forms. So I think my work is very form based. Like I also give a lot of attention to form or what kind of form I'm drawing, and also it also kind of affects the whole composition. Yeah. And also like while drawing I like to modify things a bit. So basically like when I drew this like particular, so he was not actually like this, but I made him. So certain like abstractness or the fun in the composition, I like to explore that while drawing. Yeah, and I think these are the basic things while like approaching any project, like composition, color. I think these are the basic things which helps you to like sort the things out while doing any project. So basically, drawing for me is very like a developmental process than like an ultimate goal kind of thing. See again, like you will observe like a lot of modification happening in the figures. Like almost like a toy. So all these scenarios are from my like surroundings. So while working on the personal projects, I also try to take things as it is from here and I try to convert into products or. So last year I visited Khajuraho. So there I did some like drawings or exploration. And I think there is like so much variety like of forms and shapes you can see here. The anatomy of these drawings are like amazing. Like it looks very easy, but it's like really difficult to draw if you. Here are some impressions from the actual stones. And I like the process of simplifying shapes because actually you will see like the temples are like much complicated and much complicated structure. But what you take out of that shape and like you make it your own, that's what fascinates me about drawing. And so like playing with orientation or playing with 2 colors, 3 colors. I tried to draw the figures, so it was super difficult, but I tried to like draw it with thin and thick strokes. Some of the figure looks little skewed, but and also I think like talking about the style as such, I'm like quite flexible with styles, so I can like really jump from one style to another style. But I think while exploring the styles, I think whatever you do has to be like an original thing. Like you can't like really pick pick up from somewhere else and start on that. So now I'll jump to my commercial work which I did. So you will find like a lot of similarities like of the line or how I treat lines and shapes if I work. I think like it's very difficult for clients to convince about like such a simple looking work for brands. So this I have done for Indusend Bank. So this was like the exploration of goods in a modern way. So they had used for a campaign, and so this work I did for Airbnb in like 2015. So I created like these 3 postcards for them. So again I have like used like a very simple line drawing, and also I think these are only the objects, but still you can find that like these are Indian objects, because the like shape of the glass or the shape of the mug is like very much Indian. So this was the piece I done for Google. So this is about I think this lady who became entrepreneur with this program called Internet Sati. And so while doing this kind of massive large projects, I like it's actually like a teamwork sort of thing at my studio. So it's not like one man's work, like the full thing, because this will take like week to render. So I also kind of lead the project, and I like oversee the whole process. And this work I did for Taj Vivanta. So again it was like a really complicated line drawing. So some of my work is very intricate, some of my work is very simple. So it doesn't matter like what the output is, but the basics are still the same. Also while doing these brand illustrations, I think I have to keep in mind like the feel of the brand also, like what brand demands and what I have to push as an artist in that project. It's like a Rajasthani, like a car, exploring the whole world of Rajasthan, or what are the activities you can do around that property. And also you will sort of see like a lot of invention of styles happening here. So the brand design we made for a ghee brand. So it was for a US market. So we tried to get an inspiration from the Madhubani art, and we developed a mascot of a cow, like inspired from Madhubani art, which is like purely Indian. But the overall feel of the brand is very contemporary, very modern. So all these explorations really helped me to work on like these kind of projects. And so I have selected these projects like which has like an Indian stuff to it, or like an Indian feel to it. So this was also like a Chicago-based restaurant, which is called Mango Pickle. So as a form also this is like a very ancient form, but also when you like turn it into like a line drawing, it becomes very modern or contemporary. These are some of the compositions we made for the cards or like some collaterals. This piece I did for Gates Foundation. So like the theme was generosity. So how like people are generous while like feeding to pigeons. Or this is also a series of like 6 postcards I did inspired from my Kochi trip, like a visual collage of memories. So this was also about like a screen printing, another series of prints called Musa prints. So this was basically inspired from like a banana tree, like it changes through all the developmental stages. So again screen printed on a nice grey paper with a gold ink. So I wanted to express like a surreal landscape. These are the tea lights we did. They are also inspired from the jali work, like the Rajasthani jali work. So the actual paper tea lights, which you can fold and keep it in this way.